Tonight's guests are Zaza and Eric. Hello there fellow citizens and welcome to the TV Gallery, the show that explains how the magic of TV shows are controlled through the studio gallery. Tonight we're joined by our special guest Zaza, a professional in the TV industry. She knows the ins and outs of it all, including the gallery monitors, which is what we're here to talk about today. Let's see what she has to tell us. Welcome, Zaza.
Hi Nick, thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you, especially as this is our first episode of the show, and we wanted someone who really knows what they're talking about. Zaza has a film to show us, explaining the roles and responsibilities of using the controls in a gallery.
What's going on? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going on today. You know that I always review various tech, live streaming. What you've never seen is what I actually do with it. And one of the things that I do is work here. This place is a local TV station here in the UK. So I'm going to show you a bit about what we actually do. Right, come on, let's go. Here at the local TV station, we have to produce an enormous amount of content for a local audience. It's about 5 million people or so. There are a lot of different kinds of people. We're not BBC, ITV, Fox, CNN. So we've got to do it on a tighter budget. Come on through, we'll have a look at the gallery here. We've got to be a bit careful because there's a show in production at the moment, but come on through. So ordinarily with a gallery, you'd be locked away in a room which is soundproofed and all the rest of it, and you wouldn't be able to be disturbed. You wouldn't be able to have you guys coming along to have a look inside the gallery. Well, today is slightly different. Our gallery is just an extension to the office, and this is it. That A101ME essentially feeds 3 cameras from that other room. What we then need is bits of VT. So this particular show at the moment is a business affairs show. They'll talk about, run bits of videotape and what have you along the way. Now there are loads of different types of media players out there, and the one we spoke about recently, the HyperDeck Studio Mini, that's not what we use here. We use a slightly more bit of broadcast software. So over there is a system that's run by AQ. There are loads of other ones around, and I won't bore you with the details of it, but for the purposes of this, that section plays the videos through, and it plays them through as if it was a camera input. So those videos turn up here. There isn't a video playing at the moment, so you can't see one, but we can also see the camera inputs 1, 2, 3, and it's in a green screen. Note we've keyed out the background. One of the limitations of the ATEM system is if you want to switch from camera 1 to 2 to 3 and change the backgrounds throughout, well, you need 20 fingers to do it. Or certainly you need a hardware control panel. It'll be pretty dexterous nonetheless. We use something different, a little bit of software called ATEM Plus. Well, it just takes control of one of the media players within the ATEM, and we can switch between them. A lot of the time when we do these live productions, and this one isn't as live production, so they finished part 1, they're about to do part 2, but the gallery operator here is also the guy who runs the studio. Through this gallery we produce 4 or 5 hours of news every single day, probably another 3 or 4 half-hour or 1-hour shows. The whole thing is generally driven by one person, and right next to the gallery we've got an iMac. You'll know if you've been watching these that I'm a big fan of Final Cut Pro, and one of the reasons is how reliable and versatile it is. So for our lunchtime news, we take the timeline from Final Cut, which you would normally, if you want to get something out of that like you would in Prem, you'd render it out, export it and send it to wherever you wanted it. It'd end up on that screen as a bit of VT. That's not what we do here. We actually plug the Mac into an input on the ATEM and use the AV output as the stream. So what we're doing is playing directly from the timeline straight out to air. It's really robust and it's never failed us. He's generally our go-to director. I say go-to, he's the only one we've got at the moment. He will control the vision mixing. He also controls the talkback, so he lets everybody in the studio know what's happening. He controls the audio, which is all of the levels here, which will be on the screen in front of him. And that will all get recorded, in this case, onto the server back there. It's exactly the same if we play it out live to air as well. Now, there'll be loads of questions and loads of things that I haven't covered in this piece, so you've got a little bit of time to get back to me on what you want to know, but that'll do for now. Bugger off.
So as you can see, the gallery plays a really important role in the TV industry and the functioning of shows. Without the gallery, it would be very hard to control each section of a show. For example, cutting to different angles and using effects.
So without the gallery, I wouldn't be able to do this.
Precisely. To the audience, It looks like the presenter's in control of what's happening on screen. However, that's not the case. In actual fact, it's the role of the floor manager.
So tell me, what is the floor manager?
I'm glad you asked that. The floor manager is the eyes and the ears of the pre-production of the TV show. Or you could say that they are the bridge between the gallery and the TV crew. Without the floor manager, it would be also impossible to communicate with the crew effectively.
So I think we understand that now, don't we, everyone? Well, thank you for coming on the show today, Zaza, to discuss how the TV gallery works. It's been very useful.
The pleasure is all mine, Nick.
If there's anything else you guys would like to know, don't hesitate to go to Zaza's website, where you'll find oodles of information on the TV gallery. You can find the link on our website. Now time for a quick break. Catch you after. Now it's time to introduce our second guest, Eric, all the way from Westminster. He has first-hand experience working in a TV gallery and has expert-level knowledge on how everything works. Please welcome Eric.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Of course, we're pleased to have you. Now I hear you have a video of yourself explaining how to use the controls in a gallery on doing the vision mixing.
You're correct. The video is a sort of tutorial on how to use controls when doing a live TV show production, just like this one. The video aims to inform audiences a bit more on how the production works. There's more than meets the eye.
That sounds great. Let's have a look.
We need to change that on the script because we said, oh, it's video.
A vision mixer works very closely with the director, but to a director, and a vision mixer will cut the camera shots that the director wants onto the screen.
So that was their training. They're here now. Please welcome Felicity and Vincent.
And 4, in you go.
This is a vision mixing desk, and all vision mixers operate this kind of equipment. A vision mixer is always watching the preview monitors. You're aware of what is on the main program monitor, but our job is to scan the previews. You cut with your left hand. These 4 buttons here correspond to the 4 cameras that we have in the studio. So this is the studio. Camera 1 with the auto cue for Claudio is over there. Camera 2, that one there. And this one's 3 with 3 written on it. This is camera 4, the jib. When guests are introduced, it's always on camera 4. That's our transmission monitor. That's what I'm cutting into people's living rooms at home. On a live show, whichever button a vision mixer presses on the vision mixing desk will instantly change the picture on your television.
I have to say, Erin wore trousers last week, though, right. But they were sort of hand.
Essentially, you cut with your left hand and you use your right hand for doing anything else, like setting other bits of the desk.
Roll A.
2.5 on
The first part of the day is the block through of rehearsal, where Mick, the director, will ask the floor managers to sit in and pretend they're the guest.
That'll do. And then a nice little move in for us, please.
After that, we'll probably look through the films and look at the ins and the outs, so we know that we've got plenty of shots to get in and out on.
And roll A.
Oh, just a shot change at the end, okay. After that, Claudia Winkleman, the presenter, will come in and do a dress rehearsal, and then we go live.
Hello and welcome to Thursday Strictly Come Dancing. It takes 2 coming up on tonight's show.
To be a vision mixer, you have to be able to work under extreme pressure. You have very little thinking time, and you have to be able to react instantly to situations.
Thank
Shall I get rid of it?
Hillary and Jessica. Now, earlier we saw
Vision mixers need very good speed of thought, particularly if you're doing a live show. If you hesitate, you've missed the shot. There are no second chances, there's no delay. You work under incredible pressure.
and that to me is wow. Yeah.
People work in different ways. Some people like an adrenaline rush. I like to be dead calm.
4 minutes left, 4 minutes.
By relaxing, I mean you can really concentrate on the show. You have to have an incredible amount of concentration, but you know your heart isn't beating so loudly that it's louder than the program sound.
3, 2, 1.
I love working with the people that I work with. I like being part of the creative process of putting pictures together. A director has obviously done all the hard work, but it's great to be able to sort of contribute to that.
2, 1, 0.
And off us.
It's so interesting to see what really happens behind the scenes. You never would have thought that much production goes into making a TV show work. We don't tend to see what's behind the cameras, it's usually a mystery.
Yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to share this video and demonstrate how much more there is to making a TV production work. The gallery is one of the most important pieces of technology in a production. Alongside the cameras, everything must flow together smoothly at the right time.
Well, Eric, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and we look forward to more tutorials and things like this from you in the future. It's really been useful to gain knowledge in these areas of expertise such as yours. Once again, if anyone has any inquiries on this topic, please go to our website for more information. Well, that's it for tonight's show, folks. I hope that everyone has learned something new tonight, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.